All right, friends of Hemostemics, thank you all for joining. This is our weekly webinar series that we've been hosting now for a few months, ever since we've gotten some great news and a lot of excitement and energy around our clinical studies and our commercial plans as it relates to evolving national and state level regulation. We're very grateful that you're here. We invite everyone from the Hemostemics community, whether you're an investor or physicians or patients or clinicians, et cetera. I also have two of my colleagues here, Sana, our new Chief Marketing Officer, and Bob, our VP Marketing, that have just joined the team. We'll introduce them in just a few minutes. So I'm going to share my slides, and then we're going to dig in and have a I would say a fun and important discussion as it relates to Vascular and all that we're trying to accomplish to improve and transform care. I'm going to, hopefully that is coming through. If anything's wonky, Son and Bob, I hope you'll let me know.
We can see it.
All good. We can
Thank
see
you.
it.
Okay, so we're gonna introduce our new team members. We're gonna talk about Hemostemics in the news, commercial update. We'll go through a little bit of the science as we always do. We'll talk about the care pathway, some of the improvements and enhancements there, and then Q&A. Our focus is around Hemostemics as a unique autologous stem cell company covered by 90 patents, offering Vascular globally and now in Florida to podiatrists and vascular surgeons to treat peripheral arterial disease and chronic limb-threatening ischemia, and supporting cardiologists that are treating angina, ischemic cardiomyopathy, dilated cardiomyopathy, and congestive heart failure. We often talk a lot about our phase 1 studies that are coming. One of them is an investigational study for vascular dementia, which we're very excited about. And we disclose continuously and ongoing that we are an investigational therapy under development. We're not yet approved by the FDA, but given a lot of the excitement and the belief in this transformative care, there are regulatory advancements at the state level and nationally and globally, whereby there is increased access to this care with specific guidelines, especially around providing informed consent to patients that must be advised of the investigational nature of our treatment. Patients may travel in the United States. They may receive treatment abroad. Should always consult with a physician before seeking treatment. This treatment is generally out of pocket. We're going to cover a number of innovations and access that we offer that we know is vital to helping patients get care. We do have a unique mechanism of action. There's nothing like it as it relates to Vascular that are stem cells from a patient's own blood, safely abstracted, programmed, and cultured, so that Vascular will migrate to the area of decreased blood flow where there is harm. The cells will embed around injured tissue. They'll repopulate the injured tissue, releasing growth factors, reducing inflammation, and generating new blood vessels that improve blood flow. I'll now just say a couple of words, but we're so excited to have enhancements to our care and commercial team. There's a lot going on as it relates to building a healthcare organization that involves care communications so that we can engage and reach patients that are suffering and help clinicians understand the value of what we're delivering so that we can safely and effectively help people identify if this treatment's right for them, all in compliance with federal and state regulations. My background is coming from about 25 years of launching biotechnology products. Some of them have been platform products that have multiple indications. So I grew up working on brands like Humira and Enbrel and the launching or Invoke and Skyrizi and Dupixent. These were in the autoimmune space that are advanced biologic that had many indications, a lot like what Vascular offers. We're focused on transforming care, but also running a successful business so that we can expand country by country and globally. using best practice that we've learned from some of the greatest healthcare companies in the world, including Merck, BMS, and Amgen, and Pfizer, and others. May I now introduce Sana Faruqi, our new Chief Marketing Officer, who's an incredible digital strategist and marketing professional. You'll see a lot of her work filling our channels. And maybe, Sana, I could invite you to introduce yourself and say hello.
Sure, thank you, Khun. Hi, everyone. I'm Sana Faruqi. I'm the fractional CMO here at Hemostemics. My role is to lead and support our marketing and communication strategy, sharing our story with physicians, patients, and investors, and ensuring the messaging is clear, compliant, and impactful across every channel. Hemostemics is actually very deeply personal to me. I've seen firsthand the effects of cardiovascular diseases in my own family since I was a child, which also includes my parents. And those experiences fueled my passion for this work. I have been a digital strategist for many years, helping different businesses grow their visibility and messaging. And for me, this isn't just about marketing. It's about contributing to a future where patients have new hope and we can change the health story for generations to come. So I'm so honored to be part of this amazing team. And here we are, ready to do what makes a difference.
Thank you, Sana. Well said. Well said. Thank you. And Bob, would you introduce yourself, please, sir?
Absolutely, and I echo everything that you just said, Sana, about the mission and the passion behind it. I feel the same way, and I'm excited to be here with such a talented group of professionals. I'm also here to work with this team on driving proven marketing disciplines that I've learned over 20 years of healthcare marketing experiences with a lot of great agencies such as Epsilon and Merkel and FCB, Rap Collins and Leo Burnett. I've been dedicated to pharma and life sciences for approximately 20 years. That includes DTC, HCP, as well as medical affairs. It's full funnel, so everything from insights and data collection all the way through measurement and managing whole life cycles and launches. My near-term priorities are going to be, along with Sana, making sure that we have clear prioritized audiences and targeting efforts in place so we can design the best experiences for them, making sure all the channels are working together and developing those messages in compliant, resonating fashion so we can make sure that we're continuing to get engagements and treatments, which will continue to push the science and the business forward. So thrilled to be here. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Sana. Thank you, Bob. We're so grateful you'd be part of our team. And Sana, we really appreciate your personal story. In healthcare, we get up every single day thinking about people in our lives and our families and how we can make the world a better place, obviously. And our CEO, Thomas, I think, is an incredible ambassador and missionary, along those lines of transforming care. Hemostemics has been very busy the last couple of months. These are some of the press releases we've put out that are showing incredible momentum that is really matching what has been a strong call to action from the FDA, as we've talked a lot about a recent stem and gene cell roundtable that occurred that wants to bring these transformative therapies to market. Some of the exciting announcements is now a new engagement with Empire Market Ventures to help our investors understand and appreciate our objectives and where we're going as a company. We've also recently published, as we talked about last time, a really groundbreaking piece of science on how ACP01 and then NCP01, which is nerve growing factor, can help improve signal uptake for brain computer implants. So think about the Neurolinks and all the incredibly transformative science that's happening with brain implants that are helping people now move cursors with their thoughts. There will be a time when limbs will now be reactivated or by implanting devices in brain and in limb. There's an enormous amount of potential where we can partner with the Neurolinks of the world to help with fidelity of the signal uptake. We think that's a big part of our business going forward. We are excited and grateful to have closed a private placement recently of $3 million that will help with our clinical and commercial efforts. We are also making advances relative to our vascular dementia clinical trial. That submission to the IRB will be coming in the next couple of weeks. We are working with Firefly Neuroscience's Brain Network Analytics, which is an FDA-approved part of that solution. That also is accompanied by Accurist AI, which is it is the most accurate cognitive test on the market that is powered by a 2 million patient database across all ancestries that will help us answer the question, is my memory normal for my age, or am I at risk of an underlying health condition? That'll be step one of qualifying and onboarding patients to see if they're a good candidate for a VESCEL, for a vascular dementia, which has no other significant FDA-approved options. So we're excited about transforming care potentially in Alzheimer's. We've also announced the closure of our 23rd therapy convertible debenture. That financial instrument helps patients secure their therapy as supply comes online in December. Why that is important is we're matching the manufacturing of our stem cell therapies with demand and that ramp, and so we are securing spots for patients with the most significant need. We've also announced, we also have launched and published a heart failure study as of July of 2025. I'm going to go through some of that data in a minute. And then we talk a lot about the work we're going to be doing and are doing in Florida as it pivots now to allow non-FDA approved stem cell treatments with patients that are in significant need, that have informed consent, and physicians that essentially stay in their clinical swim lane, that will be training and will help on board to administer the therapy. So we're excited about that opportunity to help the residents of Florida. That will become a template for us as many other states come online to allow stem cell therapies that are safe and effective. Our science, I think, is best in world. We have completed 7 clinical studies of 318 subjects, which is more subjects than any other company in this space. We have 11 peer-reviewed publications that indicate that ACP-01 is safe, clinically relevant for PAD, chronic limb-threatening ischemia, non-ischemic dilated cardiomyopathy, ischemic cardiomyopathy, congestive heart failure, and angina. We've just also completed our phase 2 clinical trial for chronic limb-threatening ischemia. We've covered that data several times on this call. Part of that data shows, as compared to a 5-year mortality rate of 50% in CLTI, UBC and University of Toronto have reported to the 41st meeting of vascular surgeons 0% mortality, cessation of pain, wound healing, and 83% of patients followed for up to 4.5 years. One of the interesting pieces of data that we'll talk about, on average, for patients in our trial, if they have a wound the size essentially of a dime or a quarter, we're now able to heal that wound size down to essentially a grain of sand at the 4-month mark. So there is clear and demonstrable healing ability of our stem cells, and we're eager to advance our clinical education and then our care outreach to patients in need. Dr. Henderson last time, our Chief Medical Officer, was able to talk about all of our science. That webinar is about to be published on our YouTube channel. I would encourage you to listen to all of it. One of the things that stuck out for me in his presentation was the study on efficacy and safety in ischemic and dilated cardiomyopathy. He highlighted this slide in the bottom right for patients, for all patients at 4 months, all patients at 12 months, ischemic heart failure at 12 months, and non-ischemic heart failure at 12 months. And I just want to cover that for this IRB-approved retrospective outcome study that analyzed intramyocardial and intracoronary implants on cardiac function in 52 consecutive patients with severe heart failure. The cardiac function was measured in terms of ejection fraction of the left ventricle at first follow-up on average of 4 months after ACP-01 cell implantation for all types of heart failure. LVEF was increased by 4.6%, representing a statistically significant improvement of 0.0011 on final follow-up, an average of 12 months after cell implantation for all patients. Left ventricular ejection fraction had improved by 7.6%, statistically significant 0.003. When analyzing ischemic heart failure alone, N of 41, LVEF increased from 29.9% before implantation to 34.5% and to 38.2% at final follow-up, for an overall improvement of 8.37%. There was the greatest improvement in non-ischemic dilated cardiomyopathy patients, N of 8, who improved from 25.94% before treatment to 40.29% at final follow-up, for an overall improvement of 14.3%, p-value of 0.002. So those are really extraordinary results, and I would commend you to go look at Fraser's presentation and walkthrough of the science that shows safety and efficacy. The burden for chronic limb-threatening ischemia is also quite significant. We've covered this data a few times. I'll just highlight a few things. In peripheral arterial disease, the prevalence is 2 million in the United States. 12% of that population ends up with CLI. There's a 6-month amputation rate of 10 to 40%, which is 50% for diabetics, and there's a 6-month mortality rate of 15 to 20% and a 50% mortality rate at 5 years. Our study, ACP01 cell therapy treatment of patients with no option peripheral arterial disease, assessed safety and efficacy in no option CLI patients in a phase 2 open label randomized clinical study of 20 patients. No significant side effects of cell therapy. And at 3 months, there was significant improvement of hemodynamic metrics. And at 2 years, the treated group showed improved pain, wound healing, and walking ability. In the treated group, 0 deaths and 3 major amputations versus control of 2 deaths and 6 major amputations. On the third slide I have in the bottom right, we're talking about a trend of fewer amputations and deaths with ACP01. In the treated group, 4.8% with amputation, 4.8% death at 12 months. The placebo is 25% amputation and death, which is aligned with US Medicare studies of 15 and 20% death and amputation. So there's significant improvement, which all goes to say we will be advancing to a phase 3 study in 2025 and into 2026. So we're excited about this as a very critical area of study for us. I'd like to say a few words about our patient care and commercial capability. As set by the tone from Thomas Smink, our CEO, who's an incredible man and advocate for our mission, we will establish Vascell as a safe and effective treatment option for trained specialists, for the right patients who are no option, who are suffering, and we'll be establishing clinical partnerships and increased patient access as our core mission, as discussed by Sana and Bob earlier, and all the talent and skills they bring. Launching a product is challenging. We bring, I think, team 50 years or more of launch experience. We've launched many, many medical breakthroughs over the years, and so we're bringing those best practices to help educate and bring the scientific message first, help our physicians understand our role in the treatment cascade, and then finally to help patients understand so that they may go in and appropriately discuss Vascell if they are indeed a qualified candidate. We will build a trusted care brand that is focused on personalizing clinical content and media. We have a strong data and artificial intelligence background, and then as mentioned, personalized care is essential. And so human to human contact, we will always prioritize to further our discussions with physicians, patients, and our regulatory officials. Our clinical care workflow is essential to orchestrate and to communicate, rather simply. Essentially, our podiatrists and cardiologists and endocrinologists and neurologists are physicians that are taking care of our no-option patients will refer their patients to the Hemostemics longevity clinics. We'll have initial contact with those patients where we will request to see any prior diagnostics for free reviews, or will arrange new diagnostics, whether they are part of a study or not. Our physicians will review our patient records. They will determine if the patient is qualified for therapy, and then we will have conversations with our treatment and follow-up navigators to help patients understand how to do the blood draw, really from anywhere they are, at a local or even in-home blood draw. Lots of innovations there to talk about. The blood is delivered to our FDA-compliant facility in the US, where it takes 7 days for the cells to be cultured and returned back to the treating physician. Payment and scheduling occurs here in the 5th bucket, and then treatment is delivered to the patient with robust follow-up care and monitoring and data collection and adverse event reporting, all the things that are required. There's a lot of change in the delivery of messaging and communication. We have been in digital care and commercialization for a long time. There is a movement for AI-powered care experiences. We have a strong understanding of what that means. And we also enjoy traditional communications. We like human-to-human and person-to-person contact as much as we can get it. And we also understand the efficiencies and the capabilities of right place, right person, right message to assist patients in clinical decisions at every single step. You'll see Sana and Bob, they are well underway with a strong and robust digital presence, from awareness to consideration, intent, conversion, and loyalty, where our care services are tailored the further we get to know our patients and our clinicians and their journey. And you will see us really everywhere patients and clinicians go to make treatment decisions in a compliant manner, whether globally, nationally in the US or in Canada, or state by state. And you'll see those campaigns come to life, and especially as it relates then now to finding patients that we'll recruit for our clinical studies as they come online following IRB approval in 2025. Hemostemix 360 is a platform made for patients and for people. Ultimately, we are people-based marketers with best-in-class lead generation, teleservices, and digital experiences. We won't drain this slide, but we have best-in-class partnerships with HubSpot, with IQVIA, with Medrio, our clinical partner for supporting our clinical studies. We'll have other health media and clinical communications capabilities coming online so that we can understand patients and physicians as they come through our care channels, and we can tailor their experiences accordingly. And essentially what we're saying is we know our patients are suffering every single day with stage 10 pain, and we do not want to wait one single day without getting them the care they need. All of this goes to say we'll, as fast as we can, at the speed of data, help patients that raise their hands, get them what they need as fast as possible in a safe and compliant manner. And that's our mission. The Cell 360 is a complete care program. You'll see this in our clinical experiences, whether they're in studies or whether they're on the commercial side of the house, with comprehensive diagnostic workups that are robust and help qualify patients who are appropriate for VEST cell therapy, but also to make sure they're getting exactly the right care before, during, and after. Personalized wellness and recovery programs. We know that vascular disease is often a function of the famous Western diet and lifestyle that is essentially lethal for so many Americans. Our head of FDA, John F. Kennedy Jr. understands that, and the head of the FDA understands that. And so the treatment plus robust wellness and recovery plans are essential, and you'll see that in our care delivery. And then long-term monitoring and support, and of course adverse event reporting are built in. Access support is 100% one of our greatest pillars and missions so that people can afford our therapy. We've talked a lot about our treatment convertible debentures. That is an approved mechanism to reserve and purchase future treatment so that your essentially your seat is secured as we're able to manufacture the stem cell therapies, and you can set expectations on when you can have care. That's essential if you are at risk of a limb amputation or other major operations, or if you're not even qualified for certain heart surgeries. If you're at the end of the line, we want to set expectations and secure your spot so that you know that your care is coming. We're focused on low monthly payments for those who can afford it. There are a number of financial partners we're talking to. Then our 501c3 foundation is one of our favorites, as we often talk about, to support those in need. For those of our patients or investors that are affluent, that can afford therapy, and if they want to donate another therapy for someone in need, we would strongly encourage that, and we're grateful for your consideration. Final slide, and thank you for bearing with me. It's 12:26. For physicians and patients, please reach out to me directly. You can see my email here. For medical affairs, please reach out to Dr. Henderson. He's an incredible resource. Please be sure to watch his scientific review that we're going to publish today. And then for investors or for anything else, please reach out to Thomas Smink, our wonderful CEO. That's the end of the slides. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Hopefully that wasn't too long. We update our FAQs on vessel.health. That is our brand site. You can also see our event schedule there. You'll see our science. You'll see resources for physicians. You'll see resources and education for patients as we make those content areas more robust week by week. Also, hemostemix.com has all of our scientific publications. And then please look to Hemostemics channel on YouTube for several years of our education and videos there. And then our webinars we're posting as fast as we can, week by week. Where will we see some of the media information presented to the public to increase awareness of Hemostemics? Great question. Thank you. So there are at least three layers. One is global communications. As we continue to expand our reach globally, there are several clinics that are online, and that footprint is expanding for people that are outside of the United States. Essentially, there are several thousand stem cell clinics worldwide. That community continues to grow. And so for people outside of the United States, they will be seeing those messages. As it relates to IRB approved clinical studies that will be cascading through the end of the summer, you'll begin to see clinical trial recruitment that will be based on IRB approved messaging to drive awareness among our clinicians and our patient populations who would like to participate in those studies. As it relates to states like Florida, where their law permitting Vessel came online July the 1st, you will now see compliant messaging cascading down to the scientific community and the physician community, and then finally to the patient community. It's essential to educate clinicians so that they know that this is available, that it's coming, so that they're not caught off guard by patients who are coming in with questions to learn more. So we want all of our physicians to be educated and informed first, then we cascade that down to our physicians. Finally, if you would like to follow us on LinkedIn, I would strongly encourage it. We have essentially daily communications that we're putting out that talk about our news and our milestones, invitations to webinars like these. We'll have further dedicated educational sessions for podiatrists and cardiologists. We'll begin to have local meetings in key geographic areas in Florida. They'll be coming online very shortly. we would very much welcome everyone to attend local meetings and events, and you'll see those communications come out ASAP. Essentially, we'll be cascading to where patients and physicians go to make treatment decisions as it relates to CLI. I would also commend you, and as everybody knows, our large language models read very, very quickly. And so if anybody wants to learn more or investigate or do research on Vessel, I would welcome you to the LLMs, which are now obviously a big part of our communications. So thank you for that question, and let me know if that was helpful. The second question is, can you share plans in regards to your patent in Switzerland and going forward? I'm not up to speed on the patent in Switzerland, but let me get back to you. I'll save that message for Thomas, and then I have your email from your registration. With your permission, I'll send you an email update following the call. I know we're in touch with the clinic in Switzerland, and that's a big part of our global rollout. Involvement in Germany, as they're very forward thinking there. Yes, Germany is a big part of our strategy. I'm sure you're aware of Thomas's travel there and the events that he participated. I believe he had a podium presentation there in second quarter. Germany is a big part of our global strategy as well. Will we see this in our mainstream media this fall? We will. It's a key question there, and there's several very important considerations. Most importantly is a communications approach that is compliant within the regulatory guidelines published by the FDA and set by the state of Florida, so that there's no essentially, I'll just say the word leakage of promotional communications outside of states like Florida to the rest of the U.S. that, regarding a stem cell therapy that is not FDA approved. We are navigating that. We have meetings with the FDA coming up in September, and essentially we will do the right thing, sort of navigating a little bit of ambiguity. But number two, we understand the level of pain and the level of urgency for patients that are making decisions about limb amputations, heart transplants, major heart surgeries. We feel that suffering, and our mission is to safely and compliantly help those patients understand that there's something new and work with their trained clinicians to make a decision together where a patient and their physician will be educated to make that decision. And so our communications and our education, our scientific communications, all sort of come together in a safe and responsible way. But you will see more of those communications coming out in the fourth quarter, essentially, yes. So hopefully that answered a little bit of that. And I will stand by for any other questions, or if Bob or Sana, if you guys would like to weigh in, or if I've not answered anything correctly, feel free to jump in. Would love to hear from you. Or if there are any other questions, that'd be great.
I think you've done a great job, Kroom. I think we've covered all the questions. As for the media, for Hemostemics, where we can find, we're present on all the social media channels where you can contact us and registration for our email list through our websites. And we have different press releases. So we're basically expanding our reach and visibility as we grow. And we're looking forward to, educating and spreading the awareness everywhere.
Great. Thank you, Sana. Thank you so much for being part of our Hemostemics community. We're very grateful for you. If there's anything else we can do to help, please reach out directly, and we will respond to you as fast as possible. But thank you to all for your time today, and we hope to see you next week. We do these every week as we cascade out our milestones and our accomplishments to transform care with ACP-01. So thank you again, everybody. And so sorry. Here's another question coming in. Do you think the factory will open at 100% load factor, or will there be some tuning? We have a lot of confidence in our factory in Puerto Rico, our stem cell facility that is FDA compliant. It's coming online December of 2025, and we'll scale up appropriately into 2026. So we're very confident that we'll be able to meet demand and then scale up very quickly into 2026. All righty. Anything else from our friends on the call? Okay, thank you, everybody. And please join us next week. We would love to have you back. And thanks for being in touch. Take care and have a great day.